हेलो बच्चों, कैसे हैं आप सभी? आई होप होली सेलिब्रेशंस के लिए prepared हैं, but because you have your exams due in next few months, and this is the time where people are catching viral very quickly, and so you have to take care of your health as well. So do not indulge into much holy celebration, and आज वैसे भी वर्ल्ड वाटर डे है तो पानी बचाना भी चाहिए, ठीक है? So with this little reminder, and also let's repeat the same theme. हमारा थीम होता है हर डे, एंथम होता है, थीम नहीं एंथम है कि रोज अपना मेंस का सिलेबस देखिए, ठीक है? और मेंस के सिलेबस पे अपने जो आर्टिकल्स आप न्यूज़पेपर में से पढ़ते हैं उसको कनेक्ट करिए, उसको देखिए कि हाउ योर सिलेबस इज कनेक्टेड टू द आर्टिकल्स विच आर कमिंग इन द न्यूज़. देन ऑल्सो गो थ्रू पीवाईक्यूज को एनालिसिस करते रहिए, सो दैट यू नो हाउ योर एग्जामिनेशन which you are targeting frames the question based on those syllabus and the current affairs which you read. So with this little reminder, let's take our first article, and that is on the this Brave Voice. That there is a movie which has come and it's available on the Prime Video. You can watch. It is on Usha Mehta, and the lady who played a significant role in India's freedom struggle. And I wanted you to look at this information. It is important for GS paper 1 history. Look at this article. So look at this information. It is about the movie, the fascinating history of Congress radio, also known as Azad Radio. Okay, so this information is important for you. Congress radio, also known as Azad Radio, an underground radio station that stoked the heady flames of the Quit India movement in 1942. So when this radio was started, it was an underground radio started under Quit India movement in 1942. Who started it? Who operated it? It was Usha Mehta. Okay, so next is fighting imperial propaganda, that is British propaganda, and mobilizing the masses without the aid of hashtags and phones. So आजकल अपने पास hashtags बहुत चलते हैं, कुछ भी वायरल करना हो hashtag, कुछ भी वायरल करना हो put it on the social media. phones है, सबके पास डिजिटल इंडिया है. लेकिन imagine the situation 1942 that this kind of radio was operated by Usha Mehta, and it was quite in vogue. People did follow this news, and she could shape a lot of opinions about, and lot of feeling of nationalism among the people during Quit India movement. Okay, so that is why this article is important. And then it was organized by a base of inspired amateurs led by Usha Mehta. Okay, led by Usha Mehta, a 22-year-old. Imagine, she was just 22-year-old when she organized this radio, when she started this radio. A student and political activist from Bombay's Wilson College. Then next information which is important for you in the article, read this one. She raised the tricolor at Gwalior Tank Maidan. Okay, she raised the tricolor at Gwalior Tank Maidan, now August Kranti Maidan. So it is also called as Gwalior Tank, now it's called as August Kranti Maidan, from where the Quit India movement was launched. She was a Gandhian and a brahmachari celibate. So this is the information about Usha Mehta, and I feel this is important for prelims as well as for mains GS paper 1. Let's have a look on some of the probable questions that can come from this information in prelims, as well as let's see if question can be formed in the mains as well. Okay, so read this. Which radio broadcast initiative did Usha Mehta start during the freedom struggle? So this is easy, we read in the article also. It was Congress radio. Okay, so the right answer is D, that is Congress radio. And look at the second question. What was, it is a little bit tough, try to see the answer, try to find out the answer. What was the primary purpose of Usha Mehta's Congress radio during freedom struggle? So tell me the right answer. What was the primary purpose of Usha Mehta's Congress radio? Now you have to tell me the purpose of this radio. So if you read, to counter British censorship and spread nationalist masses. Okay, so the right answer will be B. And let's look at if there can be any question from this area in mains. So look at the question. Describe the significance of Usha Mehta. Okay, so Usha Mehta's role in the Indian freedom struggle, focusing on her establishment of underground radio program. How did this radio program contribute to the nationalist movement? If you have to write this question, 150 words, 10 marks. So imagine, just think how will you approach this kind of question. So in the first introduction, you can write about the Congress radio which she started, its purpose, and then you can start the significance. And significance will be to counter the censorship of the imperial government that time, and then to stir the nationalist feeling among the masses and to make people aware about the Quit India movement and mobilize support. So in this form you can write in pointers. And then the last, how this radio program contributes to the national movement. So the first question, the first introduction, write about a little bit as a contextual information about the Quit India movement 1942 and the purpose of setting up this radio, and then you start writing significance and how it contributed in the national movement. Okay, so this is how you can attempt this question. With this, let's move to the second article, and that is new capabilities. So see, if you are continuously watching daily newspaper analysis, which is brought by Tathastu-ICS and I do present. So when this MIRV technology Agni 5 was launched, we did cover in very much detail MIRV technology, the intricacies and the various other Agni series like Agni 1, 2, 3, 4. We did see the various features of MIRV technology, the significance of country having MIRV technology, and then Agni 5 various variants of it and the benefits of it. In this, there is nothing much which we should look into, because we have already gone through the same thing. It has mentioned, like we have also read about mission Divyasa and we did practice a question also. ठीक है, तो हम इसको आर्टिकल को वापस रिपीट नहीं करेंगे. जिन्होंने पहले के एनालिसिस नहीं देखे, you can go and watch that analysis and you can revise MIRV and Agni 5 missile from there. But one new information which is there is India's maiden satellite ASAT test under Mission Shakti. So first is Mission Divyasa, which is latest, and second information which I wanted to take from here is Mission Shakti, and it is a old news, but just note down that Mission Shakti is also there. And then what is the significance of this technological breakdown? There are many, and we have already gone through those points. You can go back to that discussion of that DNA of that day and you can again revise from there. Here there are some key terms: no first use policy, credible, minimum deterrence, and massive retaliation in case of first strike, which was espoused in 2003. That all we have seen. There is new information here which is not new though, but in this article, through this article, this is in new. So I wanted to note down nuclear triad, the meaning of nuclear triad. Okay, nuclear triad. So this one I wanted you to note down, that we will look at further and we will solve some question also. Every information, every other information in this article we have already dealt through in detail. That is why we are now going through this article. Look at the meaning of nuclear triad. Simply, it is capability of delivering nuclear weapon from land, air and water. So this is nuclear triad, and India has completed its nuclear triad. Okay. The question, kind of question that can be asked, look at this. Which of the following best defines the concept of nuclear triad? If you can see, the C is the correct explanation. A defense system consisting of land-based, sea-based and air-based nuclear delivery platforms. Okay, so this is one of the questions based on this article and further information. With this, let's move to article 3 and the main article of the day. Okay. And the article, heading of this article is water and instrument to build world peace. So if you look at this article, this is important for paper 3, that is conservation. Okay, there is an topic in your paper 3 that is about conservation of land, water and various other natural resources. So in this, if you read, Today is World Water Day. 22nd March is always celebrated as World Water Day. What is the theme of this year? The theme is Water for Peace. Okay, so this is the theme for this year, and it is a global initiative backed by United Nations and has been observed every year since 1993. So which institution or organization backs it? United Nations, and it is celebrated on March 22, that we already saw. In it started in 1992. The theme of this year is Water for Peace. Next, if you see, there has been many points like how you try to deconstruct this article. First, in this article, there has been some of the problems which has been mentioned regarding water conservation, the status of water availability in the country and the world also, and then there has been some data which has been presented. Through that data, whatever arguments has been put forth by the writer in this article, the data has been given to authenticate the claims which has been made, and that is how you also understand and develop the habit of writing answers in the mains. First, you give some arguments and then you provide some data to authenticate your answers. Okay, so there are some data which has been given, and then as the writer has mentioned about some of the problems, then further the writer has mentioned why that problem exists. Some of the reasons has been listed down. After that, some of the solutions or the government initiative that has been already taken by the government has been mentioned, and then the writer puts forth some of the way forward, and that is how you should also write answers in mains. You put forth problem which has been mentioned or issue, and then you put forth some arguments, and then you provide some data to authenticate your arguments made, and then you provide some of the solutions or already existing initiative taken by the government or the state or any other institutions or organization with respect to that issue, and then you provide way forward as well. That is how this article has been written. Okay, so let's read this article which is very important related to water, and I have put forth this article in deconstructed and easy manner using headings so that you can understand and read. So what is the context? The article discusses India's water crisis. So context क्या है इस article का? The article discusses India's water crisis, emphasizing the importance of conservation measures, government initiatives. ठीक है? So as I told, a problem has been mentioned. Then as I told, some data has been mentioned to authenticate the problems which has been put forth, and then importance of conservation measures has been given. Then I told government initiatives has been mentioned, and then one of the solution which has been discussed is rainwater harvesting, and then a way forward. Okay, what else can be done? So introduction to World Water Day has been given, which we already covered. Then water crisis in India. What is the situation of the water crisis in India? Let's read that. And this is nothing new I am telling. The same thing has been mentioned in the article. That is what I am discussing from you. Okay, so India faces a multifaceted water crisis stemming from rapid urbanization, industrialization, unsustainable agricultural practices and climate change. Okay, factors such as erratic rainfall patterns, water overuse, pollution, inadequate infrastructure exacerbate the problem. So these are the factors which are present in India, जिसकी वजह से problems और ज़्यादा बढ़ जाती हैं. ठीक है. So next, World Resource Institute data दिया है. 17 countries including India are under extreme water stress which could lead to conflicts and unrest. So it says that the crisis of water is not only economical, it's physical as well as mental. So people, due to crisis, they fight for water, and then there is unrest and conflict as well. Challenges and statistics further. India's water availability is already low and expected to decrease further by 2025 and 2050. Okay, groundwater depletion is rampant across states like Punjab, Rajasthan, Delhi and Haryana, reaching alarming ratios. And then current initiatives क्या है, मेंशन है, वो भी पढ़िए. करंट इनिशिएटिव्स क्या है आर्टिकल में, थोड़ा चलो आर्टिकल देख लेते हैं. आर्टिकल में किस तरीके से डेटा मेंशन है, अगर आपको दिखाती हूँ तो आप पढ़िए इस आर्टिकल से सीधा. Water scarcity leads to poor functioning of ecosystem, threatens food and water security, and ultimately affects peace. According to World Resource Institute, 7 countries face extremely high levels of water stress, which is threatening to result in conflict, unrest, and peace among people. So India is not the exception to these problems. In India, water availability is already low enough to be categorized as water stressed. So India is already categorized as water stressed country, okay, and is expected to reduce further to 1,341 millicube by 2025 and 114 millicube by 2050. So इसी को easy language में मैंने वहाँ पे जो कंटेंट मैंने सब हेडिंग्स में दिया उसी को लिख दिया कि वाटर जो क्राइसिस है वो बहुत बढ़ने वाली है 2025 और 2050 तक, और वाटर का लेवल अभी 2025 में ये रहेगा एंड देन फर्दर और ज़्यादा रिड्यूस होकर के वाटर का लेवल 1140 हो गया, ठीक है. सो दीज आर द थिंग्स एंड देन फर्दर सम स्टेट वाइज डेटा हैज़ बीन मेंशन, जिसको आपको रटने की ज़रूरत नहीं है, वही जो मैंने बताया यहाँ पे जो ये डेटा दिए हुए हैं आप देखो, जो ये डेटा है, ठीक है, मैंने मार्क कर रखा है. जब आप पढ़ेंगे तो जो टेलीग्राम चैनल पे ये अवेलेबल है. You can go on Tathastu's Telegram channel of preparation by Dr. Tanujan is there, and you can download Delhi newspaper analysis handouts every day, and you can supplement your reading by these handouts. And जिस तरीके से मैंने हाईलाइट करती हूँ आर्टिकल्स, वो उसी तरीके से आप भी हाईलाइट करके, और जब आप आर्टिकल्स पढ़ते हैं तो फटाफट पॉइंट्स बना लीजिए कि दिस इज द प्रॉब्लम, दिस इज द डेटा विच आई हैव टू मार्क, एंड दीज आर दी वे फॉरवर्ड, दिस इज द सोल्यूशन, दिस इज द गवर्नमेंट इनिशिएटिव्स विच हैज बीन मेंशन. तो इस तरीके से आप भी फटाफट आर्टिकल्स में लिखा करिए. तो जो ये डेटा दिया है इसी का सिंप्लीफाइड फॉर्म मैं आपको बता रही थी यहाँ पे. सी India's water availability is already low and expected to decrease further by 2025 and 2050. India, then further groundwater depletion is rampant across states like Punjab, Rajasthan, Delhi and Haryana, reaching alarming ratios. ठीक है, so इसी को हम आर्टिकल में पढ़े. फिर many rivers and streams have intermittent flows or have dried up entirely. Intermittent मतलब कभी there is a flow but sometimes there is no flow, it's dried up. So and some of the rivers has completely dried up, impacting ecosystem and water security. Current initiatives and government programs क्या हैं? The government has launched initiatives like प्रधान मंत्री कृषि सिंचाई योजना, PMKSY, Mission Amrit Sarovar to address water conservation. Emphasis is placed on rainwater harvesting. That we have to understand in detail. Rainwater harvesting क्या होती है? Rejuvenation of water bodies, watershed development. So what is watershed and afforestation? That you have to understand. Then importance of rainwater harvesting. Let's look at rainwater harvesting. Rainwater harvesting crucial है. क्यों crucial है? For augmenting water availability and resilience against scarcity and drought. Large scale water harvesting structures, conjunctive use with groundwater and safe wastewater reuse are vital for sustainable water management. ठीक है. Additional intervention for water security क्या है? Monitoring groundwater levels. These are the additional intervention. Reclaiming water quality, implementing water pricing and mechanisms are essential steps. A circular water economy, efficient irrigation techniques and integrated water resource management are necessary for sustainable use. Further is community awareness campaigns, adoption of low water requirement crops and optimal crop planning are crucial for water conservation. Now conclusion, जैसा मैं हमेशा बोलती हूँ कि आप स्टूडेंट पूछते हैं कि मैम कंक्लूजन लिखने में प्रॉब्लम होता है, तो आई ऑलवेज मेंशन कंक्लूजन फॉर सच इश्यूज. कंक्लूजन इस तरीके से आप लिख सकते हो कि स्ट्रेंथनिंग वर्ल्ड वाटर डे 24 थीम रिक्वायर्स कॉम्प्रिहेंसिव स्ट्रैटेजी टू एड्रेस India's water crisis. Implementing rainwater harvesting, government initiatives and additional interventions can enhance water security. So this is how you can conclude. And particularly if we talk about water crisis in India, some of the facts which I have mentioned, you can go through. What are the reasons of water crisis in India? The reasons are many, like rapid urbanization, rapid growth in population, climate change there, poor water harvesting mechanism there, ओवर एक्सट्रैक्शन ऑफ अंडरग्राउंड वाटर. पहले इलेक्ट्रिसिटी फ्री थी फार्मर्स को, तो वो क्या कर रहे थे? ओवर एक्सट्रैक्ट कर रहे थे, चलता रहता था ट्यूबवेल और पानी फालतू में वेस्ट होता रहता था. देन चैलेंजेस टू कॉम्बैट, क्या क्या चैलेंजेस हैं टू कॉम्बैट वाटर क्राइसिस इन इंडिया? दीज आर सम ऑफ द लाइक अनइक्वल डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन ऑफ वाटर रिसोर्स, इनएडिक्वेट इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर फॉर वाटर स्टोरेज, political and bureaucratic hurdles also there. Conflicts over water sharing between states is also there. This is well known there. There is altogether separate tribunal to handle such cases of water conflicts between various states. वे फॉरवर्ड में, वे फॉरवर्ड जो हमने पहले डिस्कस किया उसी को मैंने इस तरीके से मेंशन कर दिया, रेन वाटर हार्वेस्टिंग एक्सेट्रा. वन थिंग दैट आई वांटेड टू नोट डाउन फ्रॉम द न्यूज़पेपर आर्टिकल itself, and that is the government's emphasis on पर ड्रॉप मोर क्रॉप, गांव का पानी गांव में, ये कुछ लाइनें हैं जो आप अपने एग्जाम में भी लिख सकते हैं। पर ड्रॉप मोर क्रॉप, गांव का पानी गांव में, खेत का पानी खेत में, हर मेड़ पर पेड़, अंडर हर मेड़ पर पेड़। इससे क्या होगा, जो हम बात बोल रहे हैं ना कि फॉरेस्टेशन करिए, जो फॉरेस्टेशन से क्या होता है, वो that or the roots of the trees, the plants, they bind the soil together, and when the soil is binded, the leaching of the water is not much. The water seeps slowly and it goes to the underground water and it gets stored, or else water does not goes down to the under the ground and it just flows away and it gets wasted. The absorption of the water or seeping of the water under the ground is important so that it can be extracted later on and be used. Concretization is also a problem, so forestation could be a solution. Then under various programs such as Pradhan Krishi Sinchai Yojana, watershed. So this is the one point I wanted you to take away from the article itself. Now question किस तरीके से पूछे जा सकते हैं, क्वेश्चन देख लेते हैं, ठीक है, क्योंकि ये जरूरी है, because you know it's like reading without practicing is like eating without digesting, which I always say. पढ़ के क्या फायदा जब याद ही नहीं रहे, और पढ़ के क्या फायदा जब चीज़ों को आप प्रैक्टिस में न लाइए. So read and practice through questions that can be taken from previous year question paper, or these are the new questions which I make every day for you to practice. So you can see, read the article, understand the meaning of that article or the issue which has been highlighted, and practice, so that what you eat you can digest well. Okay, so that is parallel to what you read, you practice well so that you can reproduce in the exams well. Okay, so which government program aims to promote efficient water uses in agriculture with slogans like per drop more crop, गांव का पानी गांव में, and खेत का पानी खेत में? So the right answer is B. We already have discussed प्रधानमंत्री कृषि सिंचाई योजना. मेंस में किस तरीके से क्वेश्चन आ सकते हैं, अगर आप यूपीएससी सिविल सर्विसेज का जीएस पेपर 1 2015 का देखेंगे तो देयर इज अ क्वेश्चन, यू कैन अंडरस्टैंड द सिग्निफिकेंस ऑफ दिस issue which we discussed. India is well endowed with fresh water resources. Critically examine why it still suffers from water scarcity. So जब हमने water crisis in India देखा तो I told you the problems why they exist in India, the challenges in addressing those problems, and the solution and the way forward. So the same thing यहाँ पे आप इस आर्टिकल में लिख सकते हैं. अगर प्रैक्टिस क्वेश्चन की बात करें तो और किस तरीके का क्वेश्चन आ सकता है, डिस्कस द सिग्निफिकेंस ऑफ रेन वाटर हार्वेस्टिंग एंड गवर्नमेंट इंटरवेंशन इन एड्रेसिंग इंडियाज वाटर क्राइसिस. तो सिग्निफिकेंस ऑफ रेन वाटर हार्वेस्टिंग वो हमने पहले ही देखा आर्टिकल में, समझा रेन वाटर हार्वेस्टिंग का सिग्निफिकेंस क्या होगा. एंड देन एड्रेसिंग वाटर क्राइसिस, गवर्नमेंट इंटरवेंशन क्या क्या हैं, आप प्रधानमंत्री कृषि सिंचाई योजना मेंशन कर सकते हैं, गांव का पानी गांव में, खेत का पानी खेत में, एंड स्लोगन्स लाइक पर ड्रॉप पर क्रॉप मोर क्रॉप. दीज थिंग्स यू कैन मेंशन and you can handle this question easily. So imagine why reading newspaper is very important and significant for your preparation. So never forget to read your newspaper, The Hindu, and that is why I bring you without fail daily newspaper analysis every day, so that I can make some contributions and in your preparation, and I can make your preparation smoother and easier, you know. And especially reading The Hindu is a nightmare for the most of the students. I don't want to feel that nightmare. I want you to look at the newspaper as your astra shastra, everything, and that astra shastra you should know how to use it effectively. Okay, so that is all for today. Keep reading, keep practicing, keep connecting with your syllabus, whatever you read. I'll see you in next daily newspaper analysis. Till then, all the best. Tathastu.